Hello viewers from across Canada and all over the world. My name is Joe Ehizode. This is Platform Media International, PMI. This is the health events because today we are bringing to the studio Dr. Adeola Adeyemi, who is a dentist based in Vancouver, Canada. Dr. Adeyemi, how are you doing?
I'm fine.
Welcome to the program.
Thank you very much.
You see, as immigrants to Canada and perhaps back home, it is not a very good practice. I'm not saying it's not a very good practice. It is not a normal practice for us to see the dentist. Even after spending so many years here, some of us find it quite normal to see the dentist. But again, I also know from what I've read from Jonas that it is important for us to keep our dentition clean. And you have gadgets in front of you here to illustrate that. But let us start from the basics. Why is it important for us to have good dentition?
Well, the first and obvious thing is if you smile for the camera now and you show your teeth and I smile for the camera, there's a difference, isn't there?
I know.
Yeah,
I can see that.
I mean by that is when the teeth are in good harmony,
yes,
they make you look younger, healthier, and you're more attractive to the people around you. This is something that I don't want to generalize because it can be offensive, because it's not everybody. You cannot really ever generalize anything because there's always exceptions to the rule. But you are right to say that for most Africans, Nigerians, we really don't consider dental health an essential thing or a basic necessity. We only go to see the dentist when there's a problem, and we have a high pain threshold. So by the time there's a problem, we're talking about a tooth that has a hole in it so big you could park a truck in it. And then they go to the dentist and they go, you need to take this tooth out. Well, guess what? You're only given a limited number from Baba God, and after your baby teeth come out, the others don't regenerate themselves. This seems like a basic thing, I'm telling you, but I have had people come and say to me, take that one out, another one will grow.
At what age?
I'm talking about grown adults. I'm talking about 40-year-olds and so on. Because they just assume that some way, somehow, the teeth will take care of themselves. And the problem with that is, one, the human body is an interesting thing. When you have a problem that builds slowly, the body tries to cope. So you may have a lot of cavities in your mouth, for instance, and you don't have a day of pain or what you perceive as pain because the cavities develop slowly, right? And it is only when you have this big cavity that's sitting on the nerve and half your face is swollen that you realize you have a problem. And of course, by then, there are not too many options.
Dr. Adeyemi, now, is it, let me ask you a question. Is it because of the food we eat here as against what we eat back home in Africa? Because it's claimed that it's the organic nature of the food back home that is not making us have bad dentition. Is it true?
I'm going to bring up a very another misconception that a lot of Africans will tell you. They'll tell you that there are no psychos in Africa. They'll tell you there are no madmen in Africa because, you know, it's just not what we do. Well, the human being is not that different. It's just that there are not enough recorded evidence, data, information, because unlike here, where most extractions are done in the dental office, back home there are many ways people can go to the herbalist to get something to numb the pain and just let the tooth rot out or fall out of their heads. There are many options, right? I know I'm opening up.
Now let's break it down. Let's break it down for the layman. What about, you mentioned the word cycles, right? Is that what you said? The word. There's not a lot about the cycles. Is that said? The kind of maybe it's a disease that is not
Caries.
okay.
It's
So okay, again, I take you up on this. My father died at the age of 96.
and his teeth looked like this.
No, I cannot give evidence of how the teeth looked like.
Okay.
But he had his dentition correct before he died.
What do you mean by that?
I mean, the teeth were still in place.
Okay.
That would be strange to you as a
No,
dentist.
it's not.
His teeth were still in place by the time he died. Never lost one.
Okay.
But ate a lot of meat. He was able to chew meat before he died.
Okay. Yeah.
So he never saw a dentist. So what is that? What does that tell you?
That tells me that, of course, I mean, you have to understand that there's several factors that that contribute to having what we call gum disease or diseased teeth or pathology in the mouth. There's several factors that contribute to that, and definitely nutrition is a big part of it.
Okay.
And though you say that your dad had all his teeth and he was able to chew meat, I don't know that if I'd looked in his mouth, I would have found it disease-free. Because don't forget that the first thing I said was we have a huge threshold for minor chronic pain.
Okay, correct. Okay.
So I'm not disputing what you're saying. I'm just saying that the perception of it is quite different. And the reason it's important for me to say that is that most Africans will give you exactly that
Story.
excuse.
Exactly. Okay, doctor, let's look at this. This is what you have here. What is the right?
Let's not start.
Okay.
This.
What is the right way for people to brush their teeth?
I think
You have a toothbrush here.
Long before we get to brushing the teeth, we have to understand what is healthy and what's not.
It's not. Okay.
Okay? Don't get me wrong. I have seen many people that come to the office and they don't have a single cavity. It's doable and it's advisable, and contrary to what people think, that's what we try to build people up to with regular dental visits. We're actually trying to build them up to having a disease-free mouth. It's not a road that you're trying to make potholes in so you can fill
it up.
No.
Okay.
And in order to attain that, there are several factors involved. A big one is nutrition. Okay? And by that I mean for there to be a cavity, and a cavity is that hole that develops on the teeth in the mouth, and it needs three things. It needs the tooth, the mouth, the saliva, right? It needs bacteria to exist, the natural bacteria that exists in everybody's mouth, and it needs sugar. Okay? Sugar is not just the processed white stuff that you put in your tea. It's in bread, it's in carbohydrates, it's in anything that the body breaks down into simple sugars. So when those three factors exist, the possibility, the chances of having cavities does increase. Back home, we don't eat a whole lot of sugar. We do take a whole lot of carbohydrates, but our carbohydrates they're high fiber, and high fiber is good for the body. And there are several ways that people clean their teeth back home. They may not use floss, but some people have their chewing sticks. There's certain habits, toothpicking.
And those chewing sticks look like herbs to me too. Does that have an effect?
They're herbs, and in the Western world, they haven't been well researched, I don't think. But that's not to say that they don't have, their good qualities, and they probably have their bacteria-killing qualities that may contribute to less caries events in certain populations. Unfortunately, if it's not well researched, we can't really comment on it.
Okay, Dr. Adeyemi, you say we can have you on this program. You decide to lecture people for the rest part of the day, but I want us to narrow it to the basics. One, what our viewers want to know is what is the proper way for brushing teeth to have it.
He knows what our viewers want to know,
Yes.
so I will listen to what he says.
Okay.
Okay. So, bearing in mind that I said there are 3 factors to having caries. Caries is not the only thing that can cause disease in the mouth. There's gum disease as well. Brushing your teeth and flossing is an excellent way to start, because in brushing your teeth, you get the plaque off the teeth, and that means the bacteria don't have much to feed on. And a lot of people tell you that they brush their teeth very well every day. And by that they mean using a lot of force to
grind the white
push
stuff. Grind
the food to the back of
the
their
greater
mouth.
the force.
This would not be the right way to brush your teeth.
Okay.
No. When you brush your teeth, remember that each tooth is, you almost see a semicircle from the outside, which means it has a rounded outer side and an inner side, and then rounded outer side and an inner side. So definitely a straight line can't brush that. What you're expected to do, and I'll try to show that well on the camera, is circular motion. So imagine it's the bonnet of your nice car, and you're trying to buff it so that it gleams. So you're making circular motion across each tooth.
Oh.
And the reason you want to do that is that you are using the bristles of the toothbrush to push away from the gum
Those plaques.
and down and out. Away from the gum, down and out. And there are higher chances of the bristles getting in between those circles. And a lot of people, when they brush, they're afraid to touch their gums. You shouldn't be afraid to touch your gums, even if they bleed a bit.
Okay.
The sign of your gum bleeding could be hormonal. It could be that you have a lot of plaque.
That's a new thing I'm learning too, because I thought you just up down, or just saying circular motion.
Circular motion.
Okay. See,
Not just circular motion. In circular motion, each tooth has 3 surfaces you want to brush: the outer, the occlusal surface, the part that actually chews on the food, and then the inner surface.
Okay.
And each side, a cavity can start from any of those 3 sides.
Okay.
So
what is the average time somebody can spend brushing your
at
teeth?
least 2 minutes, please.
2 minutes.
Yes.
Okay. What about the tongue?
You should brush your tongue, because if you don't get the plaque, because the plaque can rest on the tongue as well, and that's why some people have a whitish tongue. And the plaque is actually a matrix of food and bacteria gummed together. So that means if you're not brushing your tongue, you can have mouth odor. Yeah.
Okay, this is one that is very prevalent in Canadian public. I see a lot of children. My son has this. This again, I guess it's the two types. The one I've seen. There's the one to correct the gum. That one is, you have to fix it, right? You have to fix it. I'm teaching you your job now. There's one. There's one you have to fix it to this gum like that. And
you're talking about a fixed appliance.
Appliance, they call it appliance.
Still for the teeth, yeah.
It's for the teeth? Okay. And then that would transit to having the one that you put in front of.
So basically what you're saying is your son is in, so now we're talking orthodontics, by the way. And the reason he picked this up and brought it up is because he can see the brackets on the teeth, right? So orthodontics is a different thing. And
okay.
You've gone from basics to specialty.
Okay, so let's leave it. So
no.
Okay.
So a lot of people, it's desirable to have well-aligned teeth, because if you can imagine the difficulty getting into all the nooks and corners of well-aligned teeth, you can imagine even more so the difficulty of getting into the nooks and corners of teeth that are not well-aligned, and you have a higher chance of getting gum disease.
Okay.
And also in some cases TMJ disease, right?
Okay.
So, and in young people, the younger you are for certain treatment, the better, because the bone can be modeled more easily. And from what you're describing for your son, he's got is in the functional appliance.
Yes.
The functional appliance is an appliance that goes in the mouth and is used to encourage the bone to grow in a way that will make it more possible for the teeth to have enough room to align properly.
Okay. Some of us Africans, we tend to chew gum a lot.
Yeah.
Bad breath, put a cell chewing gum or whatever in your mouth to just temporary.
Temporary.
Not a long term.
Remember what I said about caries needing bacteria, sugar, and the teeth, right, and saliva to form. A lot of gum that people chew contain sugar. Even those ones that claim to be maybe not the conventional sugar, but is a sweetener. And the bacteria will use whatever sugar they can find. So while it makes you feel better that you don't have bad breath because you're keeping the teeth moving, the mouth moving, the saliva circulating, it's not ideal to chew for more than 10 to 15 minutes at a time.
Oh, that's for gum.
As in maybe twice a day, 10 to 15 minutes. Because anything beyond that, you're overusing your muscles.
Oh, I thought that was to build a very powerful muscle on the doctor. Okay, I see. I told you that I'm not used to this. I have to ask you a question as a layman.
Yes.
So I thought they said gum is just to help you build your muscles. I don't know why we're training the muscles anyway. I thought they said to have firm muscles here. But anyway, we know now that it's not too good.
It's not ideal because the muscles do a lot of work, talking, eating.
Looking at these two, the space here has somehow been breached, but this one have space. What is the difference? Is this better or this?
So the reason I brought this is just to give us a variation of the different kinds of dentition that can exist.
Okay.
It's just a study model. These aren't actual people's teeth. So in the ideal dentition, the teeth are usually in an arch. There's the upper and then there's the lower. And they should function in harmony with each other. What we call intercuspation, which means there are cusps here and grooves there, and they find a way to connect with each other to give you maximum surface area to chew the teeth. So ideally, they should touch like this.
That's an ideal situation, though.
That's ideal.
Okay.
But
I guess that would be too hard to find. This is too hard to find.
It's not too hard.
It's not too. Hey, look, can you see mine compared to that of the doctor?
It's not as hard to find as you might think.
Okay.
It's also not wrong to have some space in, like culturally. The diastema, the midline diastema, is quite common in Africa. There are even certain tribes that have a higher occurrence of it than others. And
is that the result of climate? Let me take you there again.
No,
okay,
it's just genetic.
General, okay.
Yeah, it's just genetics.
Okay.
And actually, a little bit of history here. There were certain royal families that thought it was a mark of royalty, and there used to be a time that people would actually carve between their teeth.
To have space. What they say is sexy.
Oh boy.
Okay. You see, I'm trying to bring that to you. Some people say because if you have space in between here is sexy. I learned that way back.
It's not very efficient when you're eating rice, you know.
Okay, doctor. Thank you very much. And you see, some of us who came to this country with a lot of misconceptions, they'd be asking me, and when I told them that you'll be coming to the studio, and I know that some of them will stick by and try to watch what you have to say today. And I have to thank you so much for coming to the studio. And this is just the basics. And some of us who actually have problems with their dentition, we now begin to listen. Give you that listening ears. So, doctor, I don't know if it's part of the profession. Where do you do your practice? Is it
I practice out of Lohe Dental Clinic in Burnaby.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, are you fully booked?
Am I fully booked?
Perhaps some of our viewers may want to come and
Feel free to call
Okay.
lohedentalclinic.ca. You can definitely call for an appointment.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So the doctor, I think they are they are trying to call the doctor now because your phone is buzzing. So I want to thank you again for coming, and I guess we'll have to bring you back again because some of these things, some of these things we have not even scratched the surface.
No.
You brought all this, we have not been able to explain it to us. Perhaps in the next edition, you'll be having the chance to do that.
Sure.
So viewers, stand aside. We're moving forward. PMI will still have Dr. Adeyemi in the studio where all your concerns will be addressed. And again, thank you for coming. I keep thanking you because we are very happy, and we hope to see you again.
I have an idea.
Yeah.
Feel free to post questions in the comment section, and we'll look at them, and I'll be more than happy to address some of those questions.
Wow. See that? So feel free, give us a feedback, post questions. Dr. Adeyemi has volunteered, has agreed to give answers to your questions as soon as she can. And that's it for now. And I hope you keep clicking on PMI website and watch our programs. And again, don't forget to click on the subscription tab because this is the health sector. And we're happy to see you again.